Baby, if there is any story that has carried countless twists and unexpected turns, it would be the heartbreaking tale surrounding the death of Romeca Meek, her child's father, Carlos Los, and his girlfriend, Cordia Johnson, also known as Holly Johnson. Lord, just picture the scene. Dropping your little boy off at school, only for his father's other baby mama to suddenly appear and take your life. That's the devastating reality of Romeca Meek, who found herself caught in a violent confrontation with another woman immediately after leaving her son at school in Chicago's South Loop neighborhood. And in that horrifying moment, the woman fired at her from close range while she was restrained in a headlock by her own baby daddy, out in the open for the public to see.
She's the one who shot her. But she shot her.
Happened this morning right here along Romeca near State after loved ones of the victim say she had just dropped her son at school.
When the news first surfaced, initial reports suggested that the baby daddy himself had orchestrated the attack, that he had been hostile toward Romeca long before she ever sought a restraining order against him. At least that's what was first being reported. But now, a very different narrative has taken over. The new version says that Holly and the child's father were actually the ones who dropped the boy off at school, while Romeca returned to deliver his lunch, and that she was the one who became confrontational. According to this side, the other woman supposedly acted out of self-defense. And here's the shocking part. Holly was released not long after being taken into custody, and word is that the case is already considered closed. Yes, loves, it gets worse. People are whispering that the streets won't let this go unpunished. The idea floating around is that authorities freed her because there's more to this story than the public has been told. After digging further, I even came across claims that the alleged shooter had already secured a protective order against Romeca, and that she had in her possession a series of videos where Meek appeared to threaten and harass her. Some people argue that law enforcement would not have let the woman walk free if she had truly been in the wrong. Others insist they themselves saw footage where Meek looked aggressive, chasing down and stalking baby mama number 2. Just when it seemed the situation couldn't grow any more tangled, witnesses stepped forward, saying they saw both the second baby mama and the child's father arriving at the school separately, each in their own vehicle. And naturally, that raises suspicions. Why would they travel in different cars if they were leaving from the same home? Could it mean something more sinister? Was this coordinated in advance, a staged encounter designed to resemble self-defense? I told you this story has taken twists upon twists, so let's dive straight into it. As I mentioned earlier, the earliest media accounts stated that authorities believed Romeca had just left her son's school in South Loop when she crossed paths with Holly, identified as the mother of her child's father's other kids. A heated exchange quickly escalated into a physical fight. Eyewitnesses said Holly pulled out a gun during the confrontation and fired point-blank at Meek in broad daylight. During the chaos, the baby daddy showed up, and instead of stopping the violence, he allegedly added to the escalation. Emergency crews rushed Romeca to Stroger Hospital, but the damage was too severe. She was pronounced dead, leaving behind her young son and a grieving family now crying out for justice. Family, friends, and neighbors soon gathered in vigils, demanding answers and describing Romeca as a warm, devoted mother whose entire life revolved around her child. Reports revealed that she had been studying to become a nurse and always prioritized her little boy. Yet in an instant, her son was robbed of his mother. One of the most heartbreaking details about this case was a handwritten note she had slipped into her son's lunchbox that very morning. After the tragedy, the note was posted online and went viral. In it, she described Monday as a fresh start and wrote touching words to her baby. "You can start off strong. Always remain yourself. You're the coolest, smartest, and funniest kid I know. I love you so much, and you make me so proud. Have a great day. Mommy loves you. Love, Mommy." People online began insisting that this was not just a spontaneous altercation, but a premeditated plan. Rumors swirled that the new baby mama was deeply jealous. Allegedly, she knew that her man remained obsessed with his first baby mama, who was beautiful, stylish, thriving, and a caring mother who had managed to free herself from his toxic grip. Reports even pointed out that Romeca had endured extreme narcissistic behavior from Carlos, and she had finally built a peaceful life away from him. In fact, An online petition highlighted how her untimely death was a grim reminder of the domestic violence crisis that too often stays hidden behind closed doors. The petition urged the community and its leaders to take a stand, to push for stronger prevention efforts, and to hold authorities accountable. It demanded a thorough investigation into Romeca's case, calling for swift and fair justice to restore faith in public safety. It also pushed for expanded awareness, programs, and more funding for resources to protect victims and provide safe refuge, arguing that no child should lose a parent to violence and no one should live in fear inside their own home. But the outrage only grew. Police confirmed that the accused woman had been taken into custody, but just days later she was released without any charges, even though witnesses swore they saw exactly what went down. In one clip circulating online, you can even hear Holly openly declaring that she had a license to carry. Witnesses shouted that Carlos had Romeca in a headlock before she was shot. Another woman could be heard demanding the police arrest Holly, claiming she saw her pull the trigger and then stash the firearm inside her car. From the very beginning, it never made sense that Holly would attack Romeca at her son's school in such a brazen way. And now we see why. According to people close to the situation, there is another version. Sources say Holly never drove down from Wisconsin that morning. She was already at Carlos's home. They reportedly went together to drop off the child at school. Later, Romeca returned to the school to deliver lunch. That's when the confrontation with Holly allegedly took place. At the time, Holly was said to have had an active order of protection against Meeks, and insiders claimed that Romeca was the aggressor. During the altercation, Holly struck back. But here's the problem. More witnesses have stepped forward with conflicting testimony. Some swear that Holly and Carlos actually pulled up in separate vehicles, which doesn't line up with the other version. That single detail has set social media ablaze with speculation. Why separate cars? Was this mere coincidence? Or was it part of a calculated setup designed to disguise an ambush as self-defense? For Romeca's grieving family, none of the speculation matters. As far as they're concerned, someone must be held accountable. At a memorial, her mother revealed that her grandson is devastated, refusing to speak to anyone, and that all they want is justice. Personally, I'm stunned at how this case has become a maze of contradictions, unanswered questions, and clashing accounts. Witness statements don't match up. Legal documents like the protective order complicate things. Viral videos raise even more doubts. Was Romeca really the aggressor that day, or was the confrontation engineered? Did Holly truly act out of fear, or was this a carefully laid trap? Could this have been premeditated from the start? Some even speculate that Carlos himself may have orchestrated the encounter, setting the whole thing in motion and disguising it as self-defense. So many possibilities. So many theories. And still almost no solid answers. Was this a tragic fight that spiraled out of control, or a meticulously staged setup from the beginning? Has the case truly been closed? Until more evidence comes to light, all the public can do is speculate and continue to demand justice for Romeca Meeks. But in the meantime, I want to hear from you. What do you think about the way this case is unfolding?